हेलो एवरीवन। आज के इस वीडियो लेक्चर में हम क्लास 10th के चैप्टर नंबर 1 लीनियर इक्वेशन इन टू वेरिएबल के बेसिक कंसेप्ट को डिस्कस करेंगे। इस वीडियो लेक्चर में हम कुछ बेसिक टर्म जो आपने ऑलरेडी क्लास 9th में आप पढ़ चुके हो, फॉर एग्जांपल व्हाट आर वेरिएबल्स, व्हाट इज डिग्री ऑफ एन इक्वेशन, देन व्हाट आर लीनियर इक्वेशंस, व्हाट आर द मेथड्स टू सॉल्व लीनियर इक्वेशन, अलजेब्रिक मेथड, ग्राफिकल मेथड, इन सभी टॉपिक को हम इस वीडियो लेक्चर में देखेंगे। सो without any further delay, we'll start with the lecture. Fine. So the first term that we will discuss in this particular lecture is what are variables. Now, many of you might know what are variables, but still, I'll give you a definition of what a variable is. Variables are defined as any unknown numerical value. Any unknown numerical value is regarded as a variable. For example, if I take any real number, for example 5, 2, 0, -1, all of these are real numbers and they are treated as constants. These are all treated as constants because the value of all of these are known to us. So anything whose value is unknown is regarded as a variable. Now to represent a variable, we can use any alphabet, capital A to Z or small a to Z, but generally we take help of X, Y and Z. But there is no particular rule, we can use any alphabet, but generally we use X, Y and Z. Now the second thing is degree of an equation. Now I hope equation is already clear to all of you. Any statement of equality is your equation. Now second thing that we need to discuss for this particular chapter is degree of an equation. Now this term or this topic is very important. We will use this in 11th and 12th standard as well. So to understand degree, I'll take an example. Consider this equation 2x square plus 3x plus 5 is equal to 0. Now it is very much clear this 5 is your constant and this particular equation has three terms. First term is 2x square, second term is 3x and the third term is your constant 5. Now when we talk about degree, we are not concerned with the constant. We are not concerned with the constant. We will only look at those terms which has a variable in it. So 2x square and 3x are the concerned term. If you look at both the terms, the variable is x. Both the term have a variable that is x. Now if you look at the powers, if I talk about this first term, iska power is 2, and for this second term that is 3x, in this case x ka power is 1. X power is 1. So if I want to find the degree of this particular equation, I will focus on the highest power of the variable. So if you look at this, x ke paas we have two cases, x power is 2, x power is 1. The highest is 2. So I will say for this particular equation, the degree is 2. I hope this is clear to all of you with this example. For example, again if I give you another example, 3x cube plus 2x square plus 9x minus 6 is equal to 0. Now this particular equation has four terms, 3x cube, 2x square, 9x and 6. The variable in this case is x, correct? But the highest power, if I talk about the powers, x ka power is 1, 2 and 3. Highest power is 3. So the degree of this particular equation will be 3. I hope this makes sense to you, but still I'll give you a statement so that you all can remember what a degree of an equation is. It is defined as the highest power of the variable highest power of the variable in a given equation. I hope this is very much clear to you. Now we will move on to the chapter. The chapter name is linear equation in two variables. Now first of all, what are linear equation? Already you have studied this in your 9th standard, but still we'll discuss this. I'll take an example. You might have come across equations like 2x plus 9 is equal to 0. This is just an example. Now, if you look at this equation, this has two terms, 2x and 9. The variable used is x. If I look at the power of the x, it is 1. So I can say for this particular equation, the degree is 1. Degree of this particular equation is 1. So any equation whose degree is 1 is regarded as linear equation. So this equation can be termed as a linear equation. Now the name of the chapter is linear equation in two variables. What do you understand by this? Of course, the highest power of the variable will be 1 because it is a linear equation. But we will have two variables. If you look at this equation, we have only used one variable. In this chapter, we will have two variables at the same time. I'll take an example. For example, if I give you an equation 2x plus 3y plus 6 is equal to 0. Now if you observe this, you have three terms and variables that we have is first is x and the second variable is y. Now what you will do if you want to check whether the given equation is a linear equation in two variables, so you will look at the powers of each term. I'm not talking about the variable, you will look at the power of each term. First term is 2x. Now 2x में जो variable है इसका power is 1. So I will say this particular term इसका degree is 1. Now look at the second term. This has the variable y. इसका power is again 1. So this term इसका degree is again 1. So any equation which has two variables and both the variables have their power as 1. So this equation can be regarded as a linear equation in two variables. I hope this is clear to you. Now we'll move on to the general or the standard form to represent a linear equation in two variables. Let me change the color. Next basic topic is standard form. Even we call this as general form. Now how do we write the general or the standard form for a linear equation in two variables? It is given by ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. Now in this general equation, observe you have two variables x and y, and if I talk about the alphabets a, b and c, these are all real numbers. And if I talk about this a is nothing but your coefficient of x, and b is coefficient of y. Now if you look at this general form ax plus by plus c, there are some conditions that we need to follow to have a linear equation in two variables. Now what are those conditions? Conditions की हम बात करेंगे. The conditions are very much important and easy as well. If this is the general equation ax plus by plus c is equal to 0, so as I said, a, b and c belongs to real number. All of them are real numbers. Now the second condition is very important. According to the second condition, it says a and b should not be equal to 0. Now already I said a is coefficient of x, b is coefficient of y. Second condition says a and b should not be equal to 0. Why is it so? If I look at this ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. If I put a is equal to 0 and b is equal to 0, so what will happen to this equation? 0x plus 0y plus c is equal to 0. This equation will turn out to be c is equal to 0, which is not true. So it is very much understood that if there is an equation which is linear equation in two variables, then a and b ka value will not be equal to 0. It can be anything. It can be in decimal as well. For example, 0.3x plus 0.5 plus 9 is equal to 0. This is again correct. Fine. I hope this is clear to you. Now, next thing that we will discuss is, we'll look at some examples and we will verify whether the given equations are linear equation in two variable or not. The examples that we will discuss is from your book itself. Look into this. The first equation says 4m plus 3n is equal to 12. Acha, I'll write the conditions once again. A comma B and C should belong to real number, and second is A should not be equal to 0 and B should not be equal to 0. ये हमारी conditions है. Looking at the first equation, 4m plus 3n is equal to 12. Now the variables that we have is m and n. No issue with this. If I look at the coefficients, m ka coefficient is 4 and n ka coefficient is 3. These are not 0. So the second condition is fulfilled. Also, a, b and c are real numbers. So of course we can say that this given equation is a linear equation in two variables. Now look at the second. Second equation is given to you, 3x square minus 7y is equal to 13. Now if you look at the variables, x and y are the variables, right? But if you look at the power of x, it is 2. It is 2. But the condition is, if the equation is linear equation, the highest power should be 1. So this equation is not a linear equation in two variables. The first one was a linear equation. The second is not a linear equation in two variables. Moving on to the next. Third equation is root 2 times x minus root 5 y is equal to 16. The variables are again same, x and y. If you look at the coefficients, root 2 and root 5, these are not equal to 0. So the second condition is again fulfilled. So I can say that the third equation is again a linear equation in two variables. This is a linear equation in two variables. I hope the concept is clear to you till now. Moving on to the next example. Fourth is very interesting. 0x plus 6y minus 3 is equal to 0. Observe, we have two variables x and y. But if you look at the coefficient of x, it is 0. But the second condition is a and b should not be equal to 0. So I will say that this particular equation is not a linear equation in two variables. This is not a linear equation in two variables. Fifth equation पे डिस्कस करेंगे. 0.3x plus 0y minus 36 is equal to 0. Now again I have two variables x and y, but the coefficient of y is 0. So this equation is not a linear equation in two variables. Acha, we'll look at this. Both the equations. In the first case, the coefficient of x is 0, and in the second case, coefficient of y is 0. So these are linear equations. These are still linear equations, but in one variable. Both are linear equation in one variable. But for in this particular lecture, what we are dealing with, linear equation in two variables. So only if you want a linear equation in two variables, then only a and b should not be equal to 0. So remember this, equation 4 and equation 5 are linear equations, but only in one variable. Now moving on to the next equation. Equation number 6. 4 upon x plus 5 upon y is equal to 4. Now this is a different equation given to you. इसको थोड़ा सा solve करेंगे. If I take 1 upon x as say m and 1 upon y as n, so the same equation will convert into 4m plus 5n is equal to 4. Now what I have done is I have replaced variables x and y with m and n. We can do this. Now look at the coefficient. M ka coefficient and n ka coefficient are not 0. So I can say that this equation is a linear equation in two variables. Find the last equation. Seventh equation को देखेंगे. 4xy minus 5y minus 8 is equal to 0. Of course, you can easily say that this is not a linear equation in two variables because the general form was ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. So this does not match with the general form or the standard form. So this is not a linear equation in two variable. I hope all of these are clear to you. I've taken this example, this table from your book. You can refer to it later on. Now we'll move on to the next slide. Now the next topic is simultaneous equations. Simultaneous equations. This is very important topic in your chapter. You will deal mostly with this concept. Now what are simultaneous equations? For example, if I give you two equations, two linear equation in two variables, 3x plus 2y is equal to 5, and the second equation is 5x plus 3y is equal to 10. Now both the equations are linear equation in two variable. All the conditions are satisfied. Now if I consider both the equations at the same time, if I consider both the equations at the same time, we will call them simultaneous equation. We will call them as simultaneous equation. I hope this is clear to you. Now there are some methods to solve a simultaneous equation. Now what are those methods? Methods to solve simultaneous equation. There are two methods to solve any simultaneous equation. First is algebraic method. First is algebraic method, and the second is geometrical method. Second is geometrical method. Geometrical method ko we will look into this in much more detail in your practice set 1.2. इसे हम उसी exercise में उसी practice set में discuss करेंगे. If I talk about algebraic में we have two methods. First is method of substitution. First is method of substitution, and the second is method of elimination. Method of elimination. Now as I said, geometrical method को हम practice set 1.2 में देखेंगे. So in this lecture I will explain what is the method of substitution and method of elimination method. अच्छा, geometrical method के लिए आप एक basic याद रखो. 9th standard में आपने देखा था, if I have a linear equation in two variable ax plus by plus c is equal to 0, तो अगर आप इस equation का graph plot करते हो तो it will always be a straight line. It will always be a straight line. For example, like this. This will represent ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. Not necessary कि ऐसा ही graph हो. It depends. You will have graph like this. You may have a graph like this. It depends on the equation. So just remember, graph of a linear equation is a straight line. It is always a straight line. For now, this much is enough. Now we'll move on to algebraic method. First is substitution and elimination method. Now to understand both the methods, I will take an example which is again from your book. It is one of your solved example. The question says, solve the following simultaneous equations. Now two equations are given to you. First is 5x minus 3y is equal to 8, and the second equation is 3x plus y is equal to 2. So as I said, we will look into substitution method and elimination method. So first I will go with substitution method. First I will go with substitution method. अब इस method में हम करने क्या वाले? What we do is, हमारे पास we have two equations. इसको मैं copy कर लेता हूँ. First equation is 5x minus 3y is equal to 8. I name this equation as 1. And दूसरा equation is 3x plus y is equal to 2. Let this equation be 2. We have two equations, right? Now, out of these two equations, I will consider only one equation. I will consider any one equation. Consider equation number 2. Consider equation number 2. What is this equation? 3x plus y is equal to 2. Now from this equation, can I find the value of x? Can I find the value of x? If I modify this equation, so I can say, अगर मैं 3x को shift कर दूँ on the right hand side, तो y इज इक्वल टू 2 माइनस 3x, ये मुझे y का वैल्यू मिल गया. आई नेम दिस इक्वेशन एज 3. करेक्ट. नाउ व्हाट आई विल डू इन मेथड ऑफ सब्स्टिट्यूशन, जो मैंने अभी एक वेरिएबल का वैल्यू फाइंड किया y, आई विल सब्स्टिट्यूट द वैल्यू ऑफ y in equation 1. I will substitute the value of y in equation 1. See, I cannot again substitute this in equation 2 क्योंकि हमने y का ये जो वैल्यू फाइंड किया है, this is from equation 2. तो जो भी आपका नेक्स्ट इक्वेशन है, जो सेकंड इक्वेशन है, उसमें what you will do is you will put y is equal to 2 minus 3x. Wait a minute. We'll draw a line for separation. Fine. So I will write put y is equal to 2 minus 3x in equation number 1. इक्वेशन नंबर 1 को एक बार कॉपी कर लेंगे. 5x माइनस 3y इज इक्वल टू 8. इसमें हम y को पुट करेंगे. y की जगह आई विल राइट 2 माइनस 3x इज इक्वल टू 8. इसे थोड़ा सिंप्लीफाई करेंगे. 5x माइनस 3 को इनसाइड द ब्रैकेट मल्टीप्लाई करना है. 3 इंटू 2 इज 6 एंड 3 इंटू 3 विल बी 9x माइनस माइनस विल बी प्लस इज इक्वल टू 8. आई होप टिल हियर एवरीथिंग इज क्लियर टू यू. इसको और थोड़ा सॉल्व करेंगे. तो लुक एट द कांस्टेंट -6 और 8 है हमारे पास, तो 8 को इस तरफ शिफ्ट करेंगे ऑन द लेफ्ट हैंड साइड. द इक्वेशन विल बी 5x प्लस 9x, दिस विल बी 14x. नाउ -6 minus 8 is equal to 0. So 14x minus -6 minus 8 is -14 is equal to 0. So 14x is equal to 14. So x का value turns out to be 1. x का value turns out to be 1. So now ये जो हमारे पास दो equations given है, equation 1 and 2. In this I have two variables x and y. उसमें से I have the value of x now. So what I will do, I will find the value of y. अब y find करने के लिए if you look at equation number 3, हमारे पास y का एक equation है, correct? तो इस equation में x की जगह I will put x is equal to 1. I will put x is equal to 1. Again I will draw a line for separation. Or wait a minute, I'll just move this. Fine. Now what I will do is I will put x is equal to 1. X is equal to 1 in equation number 3. What is equation number 3? Y is equal to 2 minus 3x. So y is equal to 2 minus 3. X की जगह I will put 1. So this will be 2 minus 3 into 1 is 3. And 2 minus 3 will be minus 1. So we have the value of y now. So with this we can say the solution of the given simultaneous equation is x is equal to 1 and y is equal to minus 1. I hope this is clear. I'll again explain what is the method of substitution. In method of substitution, we will have two simultaneous equations. Now out of these two equations, I will consider only one equation. जैसे in this example हमारे पास equation number 1 and equation number 2 है, so I considered equation number 2. From equation number 2, what I will do, I will modify this equation so that I can find the value of any one of the variables. For example, in this what I have done is I find the value of y. So the value of y turns out to be 2 minus 3x. Fine, I mark this as equation number 3. Now the second step is जो भी आपको second variable का value मिलता है, इसे आप substitute करेंगे in the second equation. जैसा अब मैंने आप in this case I considered equation number 2, तो equation 1 में आप इसको substitute करेंगे. So look at this. I substitute y is equal to 2 minus 3x in equation number 1. So इसको आप जब solve करेंगे, so what will happen? Your equation will turn out to be in one variable. देखो हमारे पास एक variable y था, correct? But it has been replaced with this 2 minus 3x. तो मेरा जो equation है, it has turned into an equation in one variable. So if you simplify this, you will get the value of x. नाउ व्हाट यू डू इज, हमारे पास जो इक्वेशन नंबर 3 हमने ऑब्टेन किया है, दिस इज नथिंग बट y इज इक्वल टू, दिस विल टेल यू द वैल्यू ऑफ y. तो इसी इक्वेशन में आई विल पुट x इज इक्वल टू 1 एंड इफ यू सॉल्व दिस बेसिक मैथ्स you will get the value of y. I hope this is clear to you. अच्छा, in this example I have considered equation number 2 और मैंने y का वैल्यू फाइंड किया. If you want, try this. आप x का वैल्यू फाइंड कर सकते हो. For example, इसमें मैं आपको बताता हूँ. If I consider this equation 3x plus y is equal to 2. From this, if I want to find the value of x, तो आप क्या करेंगे, पहले y को शिफ्ट करेंगे on the other side. So 3x is equal to 2 minus y. Now I need x. यहाँ पे if you see 3 is in multiplication, so x is equal to 2 minus y upon 3. तो ये मैंने एक दूसरा इक्वेशन ऑब्टेन किया. Now again the same procedure will be followed. जैसे मैंने एक y का इक्वेशन फाइंड किया था, फिर मैंने इसको पुट किया into another equation. तो आप इसको भी ट्राई कर सकते हो. I want you to try and please make sure that you practice all these numerical. Now the value, if you look at this solution, the solution is x is equal to 1, y is equal to minus 1. Now the same numerical we will solve this using elimination method. जैसा हमने देखा था, इसमें we have two methods to solve any simultaneous equation. And what are those? Algebraic method में we are done with substitution method. Substitution में what we do, we substitute a variable in another equation. अब elimination method को देखेंगे. I'll erase all of these. Wait a minute. Here it goes. Fine. Yes, I'll erase this as well. We need space. Fine. For elimination method, I'll use another color. We'll take orange. Second method था हमारे पास elimination method. Now, as the name suggests, elimination method. So, in this method, what we will do is हम दोनों variable में से x और y में से किसी एक variable को eliminate कर देंगे. Totally इसको हम पूरे इस discussion से बाहर कर देंगे. Now, how do we do this? I will again write the equations. Same procedure होगा. First you note down the equations. 5x minus 3y is equal to 8. Let this be equation number 1. And second equation is 3x plus y is equal to 2. Let this be equation number 2. Now in this what we will do, जो हमारे पास equation 1 and 2 है, इसमें I will consider any one of the variable. मैं x को भी consider कर सकता हूँ. I can consider y as well. Now what I will do is, मैं for example in this case I will concentrate only on y. अब हमारे पास जो दो इक्वेशन है, दोनों में y का टर्म करेक्ट, बट इन दिस केस y के साथ कोएफिशिएंट इज -3 एंड इन दिस केस y के साथ कोएफिशिएंट इज +1. so what I will do, I will make some changes so that दोनों भी इक्वेशन में y का कोएफिशिएंट सेम आ जाता है. so how can I do this? if I multiply equation 2 by 3, so what will happen, आपका first equation it will be as it is, 5x minus 3y is equal to 8. अब second equation को हमने multiply किया with 3, so what will happen, 3x into 3 will be 9x, y into 3 will be plus 3y and 2 into 3 will be 6. Now what is the use, ये जो हमने इसमें थोड़ा सा modification किया, इससे हमारा फायदा क्या है? Look at this, minus 3y plus 3y. If I add these two equations, so what happens? Minus 3y plus 3y will get cancelled, correct? Any one of the variable will be eliminated at the end. Now add them. 5x plus 9x will be 14x is equal to 8 plus 6 is 14. So x turns out to be 1. Now look at this. We are solving the same question in the previous method as well. X का value था हमारे पास 1. So even if you use substitution method or elimination method, the answer will remain same. It depends. अगर आपको एक क्वेश्चन में मेंशन किया है solve the equation by elimination method, so you will use only this method. If they have mentioned use simultaneous method, then you will go with the first method. Fine. Now see, I have value of x. I need to find y. So how to find this? We have two equations, equation 1 and 2. तो इन दोनों में से किसी भी एक इक्वेशन में I will put x is equal to 1. So I'll consider equation 2. I'll consider equation 2. And what is it? 3x plus y is equal to 2. इसमें put करेंगे आप, put x is equal to 1. So the equation will be 3 into 1 plus y is equal to 2. So this is 3 plus y is equal to 2. Y is equal to 2 minus 3, which is minus 1. So y ka value turns out to be minus 1. Now if you look at this, in the previous case y was minus 1, and in this case again the answer remains same. Again you will write a statement, make a habit of this. The solution of the given simultaneous equation is x is equal to 1 and y is equal to minus 1. So this was all about the basic concept of chapter number 1, linear equation in two variable. I hope all the concepts are clear to you. All the concepts are clear to you. We'll move on to the first page now. Yes, linear equation in two variable. This was all about the basic concept that was required in this chapter. So I hope everything is clear. In the next video lecture, I will start with practice set 1.1 and will solve all the exercise questions. I will try to complete all the exercise so that we can move on to the next chapters as well. If there is any doubt, if there is any recommendation, any suggestion, make sure that you comment below in the comment section so that we can plan accordingly. My plan is to complete all the exercise with their solutions so that at the end of the year we can start with the question bank. As I said, if there is any query, if there is any doubt, any suggestion, feel free to comment in the comment section. I hope this video was helpful to you. Thank you, and we'll meet in the next video.